So you're thinking about moving to Costa Rica. Whether you're a digital nomad, a retiree, or a family seeking a different lifestyle, the region you move to can make or break your experience. Every region of Costa Rica offers a different environment, different weather, and different people. In this video, we will go over each region, and in the end, you can decide for yourself which one suits you best. Instead of going by province or canton, we will break it down into 5 regions foreigners are most likely to move to. They are the Caribbean coast, the Central Valley, the north around Arenal, the Northern Pacific coast, and the Southern Pacific coast. A disclaimer, I have personally not lived in every region, but I have been to each of them multiple times. So if anything is inaccurate, just write a comment and let me know. So let's start off with the Central Valley. This is where most people get their first impression of Costa Rica. The Central Valley is the most urbanized part of Costa Rica. It's where the capital of San Jose is located and where over 2 million of Costa Rica's 5 million people live. This is where you will find a bunch of big companies, tons of different food and entertainment options, and all the comforts you would want in a big urban area. Lots of foreigners choose the Central Valley because of the comforts and the connectivity it offers, as it's centrally located in the country and very close to the biggest international airport. With a big car-centric city like that, you will get a lot of traffic, so whenever possible, don't drive during the rush hour if you don't have to. The climate in the Central Valley is very pleasant year-round. It's cooler than on the coast, but not too cold to enjoy the outdoors. It can be described as eternal spring. Like most parts of the country, the seasons are the dry and the rainy season, with the dry season lasting from around mid-November to April. You can get a lot of rain during the summer months. In terms of nature, the Central Valley is surrounded by beautiful mountains and volcanoes, offering a lot of activities such as hiking and mountain biking. The Central Valley gets a lot of foreign retirees who want a slightly cooler climate, but you will also find families and business people moving there due to a variety of international schools and lots of business opportunities. There are a lot of areas to move to in and around San Jose. Most foreigners choose to not stay within the city of San Jose itself. Most of them move to the surrounding areas like Santa Ana or Escazú or smaller towns like Grecia or Atenas. As with any big metro area, there are better and worse neighborhoods to move to, so do your research before you go. Some places like Hatillo or La Carpio are probably not recommended as places to move to. In terms of activities, there is no shortage of things to do around the Central Valley. There are tons of different restaurants, nightlife, shopping, but also lots of outdoor activities. Now, enough of the Central Valley, let's move on to the Caribbean coast. This is where you will find stunning natural beauty, pristine Caribbean beaches, and a different culture than in the rest of the country. We'll be focusing on the southern Caribbean coast since this is where most foreign visitors and expats choose to go. It's not as connected as, let's say, the Central Valley, and there is only one big road connecting the southern Caribbean with the rest of Costa Rica. The Caribbean side of Costa Rica offers a different culture since a large part of the population are descendants of Jamaicans who came here in the 19th century to build the railroad from Limon to San Jose. Due to segregation, the black population of Costa Rica, namely Jamaican workers and their descendants, mainly stayed in the province of Limon, which is why you will still find most of their descendants living in Limon province today. For that reason, The food on the Caribbean side is different, and you will find a lot of people speaking Jamaican English, also known as patois. In general, the Southern Caribbean feels very chill and laid back. The climate is hot and humid all year, and you don't get a distinct dry and rainy season like you get in most of the country. This part of the country mainly attracts young hipsters or just people who are looking for a slower lifestyle at the beach and don't mind the heat. Most people move to Puerto Viejo de Talamanca or the surrounding areas, such as Punta Uva or Cahuita. The city of Limon, while you can visit, is not the ideal place to live since there are some security issues, but it's very localized and the rest of Limon province is fine. In terms of activities, it definitely offers fewer options than, let's say, San Jose, but who needs a mall if you can go to the beach instead, right? Let's move on to the north, around La Fortuna and Lake Arenal. This is one of Costa Rica's main tourist areas, and for good reason. It's very beautiful and there are lots of things to do. If you want to wake up to views of the Arenal volcano or Lake Arenal, this is your place. The climate here is somewhat in between the Central Valley and the coast. It's a bit warmer than San Jose, but not as hot and humid as the coast. The weather here is slightly less predictable too. This area, specifically around Lake Arenal, offers a very quiet and peaceful lifestyle, and lots of foreigners are buying lakeside property here. There are no big cities in the area and many retirees enjoy it for that reason. In general, the area feels very calm and there are some charming small towns around Lake Arenal. In terms of connectivity, you can reach both of Costa Rica's international airports in around 2.5 hours from La Fortuna, making it more connected than the Caribbean coast, for example, but less connected than the Central Valley. Due to the large numbers of tourists that visit the area, this is also a good place if you want to work in tourism. There are tons of activities around La Fortuna, from paddleboarding on Lake Arenal to hiking, biking, and enjoying some of the hot springs. This is a nature lover's paradise that not only tourists get to enjoy. Enough of the north, let's go to the northwest, namely the northern Pacific coast. This part of Costa Rica sees the largest number of foreign visitors, especially from the US and Canada. The Nicoya Peninsula is where you'll find the highest concentration of resort and expat beach communities. Apart from the high-end resorts, there are also a number of small towns with great surfing that attract a good amount of young people from all over the world. The northern Pacific coast nowadays offers a lot of comforts that the Central Valley offers due to rapid development and the influx of wealthy foreigners. The climate is hot year-round and very dry from December to April, which is also peak tourism season. During the rainy season you can get a lot of rain here, but way less than on the southern Pacific coast, which we're going to talk about in a minute. The northern Pacific, specifically the Nicoya Peninsula, is home to some of the country's most beautiful beaches. This region attracts all kinds of foreigners, from wealthy retirees to family and young surfers. You will find a ton of new upscale housing developments and gated communities here. This also contributes to the high cost of living in the area and unfortunately forces many locals to move further inland. If you're looking for a big expat community and people that speak English while also being close to the beach, the northern Pacific coast is for you. Thanks to the international airport of Liberia being close, the area is well connected and you can reach the airport in 2 hours or less. In terms of entertainment and activities, there is no shortage of things to do, but it depends on where you choose to live. If you reside near Tamarindo, you will find way more places to eat and more nightlife options than, let's say, in Nosara, which is more of a hipster slash surf town. Last but not least, we got the southern Pacific coast. This region offers a lot of the same things the northern Pacific coast offers, but is in general less developed, less populated, and sees fewer tourists each year. The southern Pacific coast is very beautiful and offers amazing national parks, beaches, and wildlife. The climate is hot year-round, the rainy season is the heaviest here, and floodings are not uncommon. Generally, the further south you go on the Pacific side, the more rain you get. Places like Hako are well connected and very touristy, as it takes less than 2 hours to get to the airport. But further south, you will see fewer tourists, fewer expats, and less development in general. While places like Hako and the area around Manuel Antonio do attract retirees, they are fewer in numbers than on the northern Pacific coast. Smaller beach towns like Dominical attract a lot of surfers from around the world due to consistent great waves. South of Uvita, expats are few and far between, so if you're looking for a more local lifestyle, you should go south. But keep in mind that it can get quite remote and the drive to the next big city can be quite long. If you want a quiet and laid-back lifestyle or you're moving with a family, you might want to avoid the city of Hako itself since it caters more to adults and there is a lot of nightlife going on. In terms of activities, there is a lot to do for nature and beach lovers. You will find some of Costa Rica's best waves here. If you're looking for a big choice of restaurants, shopping, and nightlife, generally, the more north you go on the Pacific coast, the bigger the offer. So now that we covered all the main regions foreigners like to visit and move to, please let me know in the comments which one you prefer, or if you're already living here, let me know if you agree. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and I'll see you in the next one.